Hey Shoujo fans, and welcome to episode 68 of the Shoujo Sundae podcast. Today is our 2-year anniversary special, which we will be doing an Ouran High School Host Club Manga Retrospective. Let's dig in.
私の心があらモード baby I make you more than happy けどゆっくりしようね brain freeze ご注意できるかな handle me 高すぎカロリー sugar 以上甘い feeling with you next to me baby おかわりね仕上がれ
Hello, Shoujo Sundae. This is Dawn from the Anime Nostalgia Podcast. I just wanted to congratulate you on another anniversary and to thank you for highlighting some great shoujo titles out there for all the shoujo fans who want a place to celebrate all this great anime and manga. Here's to many more anniversaries to come. I can't wait to see what the future holds for you and your podcast. Much love to you both. Take care!
Shoujo Sundae means a lot to me because it's a podcast that really celebrates a lot of aspects of femininity that don't get the attention they deserve. And it allows me to really embrace that femininity in my life just through getting to listen to Chika and Giana talk about their thoughts around shoujo, but also getting to interact in the Discord community as well. I love having this space because it's not necessarily something I have in my day-to-day life. I don't know a lot of people with this similar love for shoujo, so I love having this podcast to rely on for that. Thanks, Giana and Chika.
Hello, Chika and Giana. This is Miles. I'm in the airport right now, but you just put out the final message, and I realized I had forgotten to do this, so I just wanted to leave a message congratulating you guys on an anniversary and saying how much I enjoyed the community and listening to y'all's podcast as I go through different shoujos that I haven't launched yet. Currently doing Fruits Basket still, and it's always great to hear your takes as you go through that. I really enjoyed that Pete and I got to guest on it, and you guys just bring so much to the shoujo community, and I'm so glad to have been able to find out about y'all and be able to hear you and be a part of the community in a way. So thank you guys.
Momentous occasion for so many reasons. Ouran, 2 years, it's a good time.
Yeah. And guys, before we even get into the retrospective, of course, we have a giveaway. So this is an Apple Podcast special Ouran High School Host Club giveaway. One of you can receive a box set. Now this is mine, so clearly it doesn't have the wrapping on it.
Right.
But
I'm gonna go grab mine. Wait.
You guys can be like Shoujo Sundae.
We can all match, guys.
You can be like Shoujo Sundae and have an Ouran High School Host Club box set. So, from today, July 17th until July 31st, at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, listeners who use Apple products or use the Apple Podcast app to listen to Shoujo Sundae can leave us a kind 5-star written review about Shoujo Sundae to win this box set. This giveaway is open worldwide, but please note, since the box set is already purchased, it is going to be in English, so keep that in mind.
Yes.
But yes, so in your written review, please write positively about Shoujo Sundae. Any mention of the giveaway in your review will disqualify you from being chosen. Just saying, please don't do that. Once you have left a written review, you can email us a screenshot of your review at shoujosundaecontact @gmail.com. We will respond once we've seen your screenshot to acknowledge it, and a winner will be chosen and announced on August 1st. So anyway, thank you to everybody who enters the giveaway and leaves us a review. Every written review helps get more eyes on Shoujo Sundae and on us discussing the importance of shoujo media.
Yes, you put it so eloquently.
I'll try.
So, everybody, I am so excited to say this. We return on the top floor of the second wing, at the end of the northern hallway in Music Room 3, to the Ouran High School Host Club. And what a journey, what a journey, what a journey. Okay, we are gonna get, my notes, I made like 60 pages of, it's insane. We're gonna get into it as much as we can. But we want to start with our general reaction to the manga and how it ended. So I kind of want to pass it off to you, Chika. What are your like general thoughts?
I am like happy, but I also feel sad at the same time because like, you know, when we reviewed the anime, it was just like, you know, one day, maybe in the far, far future, we'll get a season 2 and stuff. And so, which, I mean, you know, Kimi ni Todoke is getting a season 3.
Right.
And it's coming out next
possible.
month. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
But still, so it's like, oh, like we've been away, but it was always just like this hope of like, oh, maybe we'll get to see the ending in animation or anime. But reading the series and then knowing like, this is it.
Yeah.
I was just like, I feel a little teary. Like, I'm glad that with how things ended up ending, but at the same time, I'm just like, oh, like, I'm gonna miss them.
Oh my god, yeah, absolutely. I'm 100% on the same page. If I'm like comparing it one-to-one with the anime, I definitely prefer how things played out in the manga.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they came up like for the anime, like assuming that that's the only season we're going to get. And if that is so, I do think that they came up with a very interesting anime-specific ending, you know, with a unique character. And I think that they really incorporated the adrenaline rush and, like, Kyoya's passion and then the host club's passion, like, as they were trying to rush Tamaki to the airport. And because that's such a monumental moment of the climax of the story, you know, and I think they were able to incorporate that into the anime for its own ending very well. But I definitely prefer, you know, all the detail and all the, like, character development we got in the manga specifically.
Yeah, me too. Bisco Hattori put a nice bow on it. I was like,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one thing she didn't put a bow on that I didn't super appreciate, which is the loose ends with Kyoya. I do think he deserved some finality. So he's my boy, so.
Yeah, I mean, but I feel like that's good. But
it makes sense. Yeah.
It's like with Mori, of course, as like the Mori fan, I was just like,
I feel you.
Okay.
I know. When I was reading where Mori ended up, which we can get into the characters right from this, I was like, Chika's probably shaking her head right now.
That's it? Like, okay.
Yeah. So do we want to get into some noted character development?
Yeah.
Honestly, if we're on Mori, do you want to just, like, go into it?
Okay, yeah, so I feel like based off of what I read, because guys, I like read basically from where the anime ended to the end of the manga series. I think he's almost the least developed, if not the least developed character.
Yes, I agree.
And so for me, that's really disappointing because, you know, when you end up reading the source material, you're going into it hoping that you're going to see more about the character that you like. And so to me, it's just like, okay, we have a general sense of like Honey, for example. Honey like wants to do engineering and build like cars and toys, and you get to see him eventually be, I guess, the first, or at least what Hattori Sensei was talking about, was the first member in the club to get married.
Yeah.
So, to Kanazuki. So it's just like, okay, so Honey can have this written out ending, everything, and like Mori's doing law.
Right, he's doing law, and he gets married most likely to a traditional, calm, refined woman, but he definitely has kids someday. And it's like, that's the most blasé, like...
Like...
What about his love for animals? How was that not, included in his epilogue, Like, I felt like that was such a unique trait about him, the way he cared for animals. I think it would have been so cool if he became, like, a veterinarian or something.
Yeah, like, or, is it the same thing, like a zookeeper? Well, not a zookeeper, because that's probably not enough money, but, like, the people that, I mean, since they have a company, it's like he could be like, oh, we have stock in zoos now around the country and everything. I don't know. It just felt really unsatisfying. Like,
yeah, I do agree.
Yeah.
Honestly, since we touched on Honey, Honey's backstory, as we said, he has all of that very, very interesting development. And one thing I loved particularly about the manga is that we get to see that Honey really is 18. He really is actually very insightful and mature.
Yeah.
And I love when his age shines through, because he's either advising other people or he's sometimes being the voice of reason, like when he tells Reiko that if she wants to be understood, that she needs to share her feelings. When he's telling Karu, like, what do you want? You know? I love that side of Honey so much.
Yeah, because I feel like in the anime, it just sort of, I mean, of course, they're just doing their best to show you, like, all the traits of everyone, but it was more so highlighting, oh, young at heart, carries this bunny around all of the time, and it's just like, we get to see him be more of a sage in the group, you know, like, and when it came to even him finding love with Reiko is Kanazuki.
Yeah, I just started calling her Reiko.
Right, but it's like when he ended up finding love with that was like the most settled, like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, she likes me. I'm into it.
Yeah.
Cool.
pretty much, yeah, I'm into it. Yeah. Let's back up to our main gal, Haruhi. I think it was very fun watching Haruhi go from somebody who is essentially apathetic and just kind of going through life and taking things a day at a time. Whatever happens, happens. I'll figure it out. It's not that deep. To becoming so full of love for her friends and for Tamaki. It was a beautiful thing to see unfold.
Yeah, like just being able to see her come into her emotions was nice. Thankfully, it didn't take her as long once she did come into her emotions.
Right. It happened much sooner than I thought it would. I was like, oh, okay. This is a development.
It's there. She's blushing. What?
Yeah.
So it was just nice seeing her come into her emotions and just be a little bit more certain about herself. And also, like, because she became less apathetic, she was able to take in more about the people around her. And so, like, that was something that I noticed right off, is that because she spent so much time with the host club, she was able to pick up little intricacies about all of them.
Yes.
And in a way, like, make them come to terms with aspects of their own personality that they weren't, like, dealing with head on, which was really nice.
Yes. I absolutely loved Haruhi's journey and watching that come to fold. Shall we talk about Tamaki? What a guy.
Yeah.
I think he's described so perfectly in volume 16 after making such great strides in growth. Like, it's amazing watching him grow before our eyes. He's described as composed, but with frivolous flights of fancy. And I think that is just so perfect. Like, it's him to a T for sure.
Yeah, like, I even put down, like, I think 3 of his quotes, because I mean, I was trying to put everything, but
no,
still,
I'm just too much. I was like, every thought I had, I'm like, type.
Yeah, I like had like a couple of his like he's also the times when Tamaki was trying to be Sage, he hit it on like the mark and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he at one point he's like, you can't let loneliness harden your heart. Believe in yourself and act the way you want in confidence. Rather than feeling depressed over not being aware of something, what matters more is how you react once you discovered it. Like, just gem after gem after gem. And so it's like, even though he is frivolous and over dramatic at times, like, he's still able to be that leader and to really just guide people like through their paths or like through whatever conflict that they're dealing with so that they can feel better and just be like this little found family within the host club.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, absolutely. How about Kyoya? We love Kyoya. I love Kyoya. I love him even more in the manga than in the anime. I feel like we just get more of all of the sides of him. I put that, you know, just as Tamaki put it, he is passionate. He is smart. He's calm, collected, and cool, but so fiery underneath that icy exterior. And yet he's also sentimental. And I think that, you know, Tamaki was the one who taught him sentimentality, despite his aversion to it at first. You know, Tamaki was that key to giving Kyoya some real humanity. I mean, Kyoya grew up in a home that did not have any of that, so it's understandable why he was so cold and calculated, but I adore him and, you know, the journey that he's on, and I just want nothing but the best for him.
Yeah, and I think when they had the sports festival or the sports tournament, and then he had to go against Tamaki, what I really liked was that Tamaki was basically doing it because, one, he didn't want Kyoya to always feel obligated to make him look good, but then at the same time, he was just like, Kyoya is passionate. And I want that to come out. And so I feel like we got to see it during the sports tournament, but then also when Kyoya and the rest of the host club was confronting Tamaki's dad, and then the full passion, anger, everything came out. Like he was pissed, and he did not care that the chairman had all this money, that their family did business together. He was just like, I can't believe you did this to my friend. Like, how dare you do this to my friend? I don't even care that you're my friend's dad. How dare you do that to him? Like, and use him as a pawn. Yeah.
I absolutely loved that moment. That was an incredible show of passion and like love for Tamaki. Hikaru. So, I would say he's a very consistent character throughout. I do feel like all of his actions feel very true to him, and I say that for a reason. He's also passionate, and he shows it in a different way than Kyoya. He's a little erratic and overly emotional. I still adore him. But, you know, he's definitely got some work to do.
Yeah, like, I feel like it's both of them. I think I have like more fire towards Kaoru, actually. Yeah. But still.
Yeah. Sorry. I think. Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
Can we get into the crush on Haruhi? Is that okay to talk about here?
Yes, because I was mad. I was so...
Me too.
Yeah. With both of them, I was they're bordering on just basically me being livid with how they were going about their crush on her.
Yeah, I think that it made more sense for Hikaru to have a crush because it was more palpable that there was something more there with the passion he had for Haruhi. So I could understand. It felt like I was blindsided by Kaoru because they had such friend energy, and I'm like, oh, is he keeping it so under wraps that even the reader can't pick up on these feelings because he's truly putting Hikaru first? I don't know. I didn't like that Karu had feelings. Like, that was like a genuine I scream, you scream. Hikaru, I could understand and see. Because, like, and that was also reflected in the anime. I don't know if it was, like, anime bias coming through for me that I was like, oh, I understand Hikaru, but not Karu. But,
I just feel like it was developed more with Hikaru. But then...
Yes, I agree.
With Karu, like, this is going to sound like a weird analogy, but... Hear me out. Like, when you eat something and it gets in your teeth, and so then you're flossing the area you think that the food is in, but it's actually not in there, it's in another space. That's how I feel about the Hitachins liking Haruhi. Because it's like, oh, Hikaru, that's where the food was, and then where you thought it was, but it wasn't there, was Karu. Like...
Incredible analogy. Yeah.
I think there was this conversation that this therapist, I know that he's kind of bigger on TikTok. His name is Shaheem. And he kind of got into this whole thing last year talking about how people pleasing can be manipulative. And I have never seen like it truly be manipulative until I started seeing how Karu was moving when it came to, oh, I like Haruhi. Oh, well, I want Hikaru to grow, so I'm creating this scenario that's purposely going to hurt him in order to encourage him to confess, despite both of them knowing that Haruhi, like, if Haruhi has feelings, it's for Tamaki.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, it just really irritated me because it's just like, okay, like, I get that y'all, okay, you want to be individuals, and that was a whole thing. That made sense to me.
That I did like their individuality, like, actually being addressed and them deciding to support each other but still grow individually. I really did like that development.
I liked that development as well.
Yeah.
I think when it came to the Haruhi part, it was just like, okay, Kaoru is trying to force Hikaru to confess. So he confesses to make his brother confess. But then they both know that Tamaki likes Haruhi. So then now, like, Hikaru was trying to get Tamaki to acknowledge the feelings that he wasn't even there yet.
That was a lot. Yeah.
And then Hikaru also, at the end, was trying to force Haruhi to tell Tamaki about her feelings. And it's just like...
It's not your place, man.
It's not your place to do... Like, their love story shouldn't have to be on the twins' timeline.
No.
Like...
That's such a good way to put it. I absolutely agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I like them, but at the same time, it was just like, oh, like, I feel banana split on them because of how this ended up playing out. Because I was so upset for when I was upset with Karu for the pseudo confession and then the kiss on the cheek. Because did you ask her? Like, why? I know it's the cheek, but still, why?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm right with you. Mm-mm.
Then Hikaru being like, oh, I'm going to tell you my feelings. Don't respond now, even though he already knew the answer. Then Hikaru also getting upset. Like, I think at one point Hikaru was upset with Tamaki for the trauma that he clearly had in relation to his family and why he was holding back on his feelings.
Yeah, didn't he just, like, kind of throw the word trauma in his face? Tamaki's reaction to that was very... I have mixed feelings on that as well.
Right, yeah.
But Tamaki did, like, realize later that, like, oh, no, this was serious. So I do appreciate that. But yeah, no, Hikaru handled this very harshly.
Yeah.
I don't think he knows how to handle things in any other way other than extreme. And that is something that he would have to learn in time to, you know, not behave that way.
Yeah. So it's like, I think they both kind of leave a lot to be desired. And even in the way, I think Kaoru told Hikaru that he was self-centered, or maybe it was the other way around. I think both of them are.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Both of them are. And, like, I don't know, like, I feel if you like somebody, then you shouldn't try to control them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were there any other characters in particular you wanted to touch on?
Ranka, in general, I was proud of Ranka.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when they threw that tea in Kozaka's face.
Go Ranka or Ryoji, whatever we want to call them.
Yes.
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 What a fantastic dad. The only thing that, like, I literally, like, I'm sitting there reading the manga, and when they're like, I need to sabotage this date, I'm like, please fucking God, no. She's 16. Let her go on a date.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that didn't play out. I was so afraid that it was going to be like a whole, like, stalking to the supermarket plot again. Thank God. Thank God, no. That was the only thing that, like, really, I was like, oh, God, Ryoji, please no. But, yeah, otherwise, fantastic character, doting father, we love. I did want to briefly touch on Yasuchika, Haninazuka.
Yeah, it trips me out that his name is Chika. It
I know,
trips me
I want to call him Yasuchika.
Yeah.
So as he gets older, you know, he's in high school now, he realizes that he has true feelings that are hard to suppress. And I like that he is slowly allowing himself to indulge more, even if it's under the guise of helping Satoshi Morinozuka run a club. He's just like, oh, I love animals. Oh, I love animals. But he's like, I can't. And I do hope that someday he reaches the same conclusion as Honey, that it's not worth it to suppress yourself because it's just a guarantee that you will be unhappy. But I just love the direction he's going in very much.
Yeah, I feel like he had a lot of growth. Just
Absolutely.
being able to
More than Mori.
acknowledge. Yeah, well,
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. But, like, I think even him liking the baby chick was so cute.
Oh my God, my heart. I was like, oh, this boy, he's got a love for cute things too. They are, you know, leaves from the same tree or apples from the same tree, whatever people say.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I made a random note about Kuze, the football club captain.
Oh,
I just thought he was a fun side character. I love that he eats oranges with the rind on, and his rivalry with Kyoya is so funny because he's persistent despite being up against an impossible, formidable opponent.
Oh, you know, a character I do want to know, I think her name is Megumi Kanoya. She reminded me so much of your girlie from Kyoya and the Crystal Ball.
I wrote that too. I was like, what? Did I accidentally write canon? I had never... Guys, this is actually my first full read-through of the manga. I had only read up to volume 8 before. And this was my first experience actually finishing Ouran, which sounds like such a crazy thing to admit, being an Ouran, like, super fan. But hey, better late than never. But I read that and I was like... She cooks with her father who cooks. So I'm like, wait, did I accidentally write a real character in Ouran? Also, guys, please, if you're unsatisfied with Kyoya's ending, go read Kyoya 03 in the Crystal Ball because I gave him true love.
Yeah. Or you could listen to our episode too.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, talk about that in the review. Yeah.
Guys, it would make me so happy, please.
Yeah, y'all could leave a review on AO3, or it could be your written review on Apple Podcasts. Yeah. So get the box set, guys, please.
The box set.
The box set.
Don't you want to match?
You want to match with us. You have until July 31st.
Do we want to move into Floats Your Boat?
Sure.
Okay. I have mostly notated in, you know, the volumes 1 through 8, like Chika said, that were, like, within the anime for the most part, like differences between the manga and the anime that I found interesting. I'm going to try to go so fast. We're probably not going to, like, speak about these things. I'm just going to notate them. So in volume 2, I think it was a fantastic edit to make Renge work on Shiro's character development in the anime as opposed to Tamaki, because Tamaki does it in the manga. I think it is much more fitting for Renge's character than Tamaki's because she had given them all characters previously for the film, and it made more sense. She understood, like, story writing and character development. In the manga, for the Jungle Pool SOS episode in the anime, Haruhi wears a hoodie to Kyoya's family's resort because she wants to, not because Tamaki forced her to, and I so prefer this.
Yeah.
She just didn't want to dress for swimming. She didn't even want to go in the first place because she had laundry to do. So, much better than Tamaki being like daddy, you know?
Yeah.
In volume 3, the beach arc is very interesting and different. It takes place at Nekizawa's private beach and not Kyoya's, and this gives us more comedic beats to help balance out the heaviness of that arc, because I know that the both of us struggle with that episode more than any other episode in the anime.
Mm-hmm.
So a few of the beats are that in Nekizawa's, like, I don't know if it's not like a mansion. It's like the private beach house, I guess, but villa. Yeah, that's a way to put it. They're playing a game that gives people like terrible fates. It sounds like horrible and spooky. It reminded me of episode 1 of Black Butler, if y'all are familiar with that. The twins saying like, "Oh, good job, Haruhi's dad," when she pulls out the frilly dress that she's wearing. Is actually, it's not because he wants her to wear frilly stuff, it's because it was a name brand dress. They were impressed that she had something that was name brand and not that she was dressing like a girl. Much prefer that as well. Negizawa has to go to sleep early because there was a blackout, and when the lights come back on, it was such a shock to his system that he had to go to bed early. Throughout the manga, anytime Nekizawa speaks, it's in this like spooky font, and I thought that was a fantastic touch. I was literally reading it in Patrick Seats's voice. And also in this chapter or episode, his princely appearance like comes out for like one cell, and it's just glossed over and not addressed. I did prefer in the anime that they waited for Kirimi to reveal that. Mm-hmm. And also Tamaki had Antoinette the whole time in the manga, which is so cute, so cute. Another thing in Volume 3 is that there's a Halloween episode where Haruhi is cursed by a witch, and they are, cursed. It's the twins doing twin stuff. And in the anime, they kind of meshed that plot and the Test of Courage storyline from Volume 8, like the Summer Test of Courage, into one episodes. And I think that they accomplished something really well by jamming them together. It did feel a little bit kajumbled in the anime by jamming them together, because it's like, why is the Black Magic Club and blah, 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 blah. But, I just think on its own, the curse thing works nicely. On its own, the Test of Courage thing works nicely. Jamming them together worked pretty nicely, too. It was just a fun deviation. It was nice to see. And also, with the Haruhi being cursed by the witch, I thought the twins had such a wholesome motive by wanting to make Haruhi believe she was cursed. It was so that they could actually get her involved in the Halloween activities. It was kind of sweet. A side note from Bisco Hattori is that she tries to think of gags and like write in her head as she's falling asleep. And I was like, me too. I'm like Bisco Hattori. So I had to put that in both you both. At the Fujioka residence, when the Coast Club shows up there, Honey asks to use the restroom, and it's so small that it triggers his claustrophobia. And I wish they left that in the anime. Volume 4, I much prefer Tamaki storming away from Haruhi's house, rather than stalking her to the supermarket with Ranka and the boys, and Haruhi finds him and invites him to go to the grocery store with her. That it's just like more genuine that way, that he was invited, and it felt better. We also get to see Valentine's Day at the host club, and that was cool to see. I felt like that tied in much better with Honey's 3 Bitter Days, because it was like around Valentine's Day. It kind of heightened the stakes in the manga, and I'm not sure why they omitted that detail from the anime. In the manga, in that arc as well, the girl that's like confessing her feelings to Mori has simply like been rejected by him, and she just wants him to accept her Valentine's Day chocolates so she can have closure, but he can't accept them because nobody's accepting chocolates for Honey. In the anime, this is left ambiguous, as if he's rejecting her because he has like feelings for somebody else, and it's implied that it's Honey, and that's like weird, so I don't know. I just prefer the manga's clarity on that. During the newspaper club episode, instead of shoveling instant ramen in the corner as Tamaki's sulking, he's actually eating bugles on his fingers like everybody did when they were kids. I thought that was very funny to notate. In Volume 5, the Haruhi doll that the twins get Tamaki to practice confessing his feelings to is actually just a silly little doll and not a mannequin with a bathing suit on it, and I just much prefer this. We're not sexualizing Haruhi.
Yeah.
In Volume 6, there's that arc with the race for the Central Salon for the cultural festival. I thought it was a very fun concept for an episode. Great comedic beats, with the race and them changing costumes for Venice and stuff like that. And Tamaki and Kyoya having a nice moment. Ouran having a pool on the roof. It's so very Ouran. There's a hilarious side episode featuring the vice principal and them wanting to recreate a soup that was fed to him by someone he met in the mountains as he was collapsing from exhaustion. And it's like comes into this like whole silly thing of them trying to recreate this soup. Very, very good episode. I would love to see it animated. It was such a joy to read. Sorry for the loud car. So that was fantastic if you read the manga and you know what happens there. We meet the little brothers, Satoshi and Chika, in Volume 7. Love them. And now we're on to Volume 8, if you would like to. I'm so sorry. If you would like to chime in. I'm trying to go quick. I'm so sorry.
Okay. I don't think I started notating this happened in volume stuff until the later, volumes. So,
I'm the opposite. I stopped later.
Okay, I think the first thing I have is I kind of like that the new gag for the twins and Kyoya is thinking about just how stupid Tamaki is for not acknowledging his feelings for Haruhi.
Yeah.
And it's like everyone just starts getting pulled into it. Like, we meet May thinks the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's just, all of these people are just like, wow, he is so dumb.
Right. Like, he's like, how could he not realize?
Yeah. I think just seeing the twins become individuals, but we already sort of talked about that, was just nice overall because, I get it was a coping mechanism, but it also wasn't really healthy.
Yes.
Yeah. And
there's
then,
a balance.
Mori taking care of small animals. I thought that the chick that turned into a hen because, time. But
yes.
The chick, or was it a hen? No, it was a hen because roosters' tails look different. Okay. The hen and then the tanuki, that was so cute. I loved,
so cute.
The tanuki was just trying his hardest. Oh, you gave me rice balls. Here are yams. Yams everywhere.
Yeah.
Here,
oh my gosh.
there.
It was just an episode of a tanuki causing mischief. It's so good.
Yes. And I think that even one of the later on side stories, you get to see Mori, Mori's day off. And you see him build this Gundam looking figure.
Yeah.
And then they destroy it. At first he was mad, but then he was just they're so cute. So, yeah, I think just seeing, I guess he just likes animals or maybe just small things, which maybe is also attributed to him liking honey so much outside of the family relationship. It's I think
so too. And that also highlights a similarity between him and Kasanoda, who we meet in Volume 8. I preferred, again, how Kasanoda's arc was handled in the manga for the most part. It was, more detailed. And I remember specifically saying when we reviewed the anime that I was like, what is with the cat ears and the maid costume? We went from 1 to 10. I wish we could have seen more of that. And that actually only happens in the anime. I just love seeing more of Kasanoda, learning that he anonymously sends cakes to his men on their birthdays. He puts presents by their bed at Christmas. I remember we had problems too with Kasanoda and his instant intense feelings for Haruhi. Yeah. And when he's picking the petals off the flower, it's is she a boy? Are they a girl? Instead of love, it was boy, girl, it's still weird, but it's better. He also doesn't daydream about Haruhi calling him a naughty boy or remembering it differently. He's just shameful that the incident happened to begin with. And also the Sharpie tattoo we thought was weird. It makes sense in the moment that it happens in the manga rather than the anime because it's in the middle of a confrontation with the hosts and everyone has heightened emotions and Kyoya's insidious aura is hanging over him. He's I promise I won't tell. So, it just makes much more sense in the manga. I love Kasanoda with my whole heart. And he even gives Haruhi a plant, a tomato plant, because she wanted to start growing edible foods, and he gets into gardening. He's just a treasure. He's an absolute treasure.
I think you're just able to fully see his softness more in the manga than in the anime, which is really just nice, overall. I feel we said that during that episode when he was on it, don't judge a don't judge a book by its cover. And that definitely comes into play for Casanova.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have to get into it too much, but I thought the arc or the episode with Tamaki having a cold is a hilarious concept because he's so dramatic. He's like, Kyoya, I'm dying, texting him. Very funny. It led to some interesting stuff, like didn't he kissed Haruhi on the forehead, right?
Yeah, because he like the father shit, like
Tamaki.
Especially, I don't remember which, not that I was really a fan of it, but I feel like maybe around either 12 or 13. I don't remember which volume, but at a certain point of a volume, I was just like, oh, I'm sick of this.
It took until volume 14 for him to give up the father act, and there are 18 volumes. Yeah, we were tired.
I was just like, you need to let this shit go, because him just being like, oh, he just wants to like kiss her. And fathers can do that. It's just like, you're not her father. Then he did it in front of his own father, which I was just like...
Yeah, a lot.
Okay.
Definitely a lot.
Yeah.
I wanted to come to Nekizawa's defense again, because I found something so funny I had to write it down. The Black Magic Club specifically has robes that are made of linen for the summer. Yeah. And they're like, these are nice and cool. So in Nekizawa's defense, he probably smells fine.
Oh yeah, because I was just like, oh, he's musty. He's musty under that.
Like, you're like, there's no way he smells good.
He's no, like funky fresh, like, but in a bad way.
I'm pretty sure we made that our like episode poll for that week. Like, do you think Nekizawa smells good? Right. I had to write it down.
Like I sort of still stand by it, because like, how, like, do you keep deodorant? Do you keep it on you? Like,
I hope so.
This would be perfect if we were not monetized. If we got ads, this would be a perfect point to talk about Lumi. They have the full body, the full body deodorant. Like, yeah, it was cute to see. Like, they're like, oh, like linen is just nice and this, and although I did like their elegant outfits, I was like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I did too.
It was like, oh, this is Phantom of the Opera vibes. Like, yeah, they weren't that scary. It was like, okay,
yeah. I didn't write anything in detail for this, but I think all of the stuff with May, just all of that arc with like May and meeting the hosts and her kind of having a crush on Tamaki, I think all of that would be great for season 2. Season 2 when? I just had to notate that. Would love to see it animated.
Yeah. Although I will say that was like one of my dislikes. I didn't like May dead naming her dad.
I have like a dissertation on homophobia in Half-Life.
We could get to it. That was one of the things that stuck out to me about her. But I will say in Float Your Boat, I like that because she gets close to Haruhi, that Haruhi's able to have that feminine, like, feminine
presence,
presence, but also just like a friend too that is her age, that she can like go to about these sort of things.
Yeah, like boys,
because she's at school and she's pretending to be a boy, she's always surrounded by the host club, and it's just like, okay, who is the feminine presence in her life? And it's May. And so I did like that she added to her Haruhi's life that way.
I do too. The next thing I have is that Kyoya wants to find Tamaki's mother while they're in France, so that he can reassure him that she's okay. That is major. That's like, he's getting himself into a dangerous business doing that. Like, Kyoya is so incredibly loyal and such a good friend. Yeah,
that made me a little emotional because you knew. I feel like he knew that. Even though Tamaki wouldn't seek it out, that he would want to know how his mother is doing and stuff. And it also just led us to have more questions. Because it's like, oh, well, if she's healthier, what's tea? Like, why is she healthier?
Yeah. I mean, God, I was trying to figure it out the whole time. I'm like, what's going on? Oh my gosh, what a fantastic reveal later, though. Oh my god. Yeah. Love seeing the breadcrumbing between Tamaki and Haruhi, wondering how the other's doing, if they're eating, if they're safe. love that.
And just randomly worrying about somebody. I mean, I would worry, but I feel like I mentally shut my brain off if somebody's like, I have diarrhea. Okay.
Oh, no, that's not what I was like.
Oh, never mind.
No, I meant in general, because it's throughout. It's throughout. Yeah. They're wondering if the other's okay. But oh my god, I literally wrote like, Kyoya needs to stop telling people that Tamaki has diarrhea. Like, he needs to stop. Like, why?
Like, especially when Haruhi ran into him, and I was just like,
oh my god. She's like, is your stomach okay?
That's so nice. Because, you know, like, guys, like, diarrhea, there's a smell. There's a certain smell. Like, you can tell that it's that. Like, it's not just, like, regular boo-boo. It's like, yeah. Yeah, I hope it works out. Sorry, y'all.
Oh my god. It's, right. It's like her looking at his face and thinking diarrhea. I can't. Anyway.
Like, just imagine her, like, mentally bracing herself for, like, the smell that didn't come. Like, it's...
He's like, no, I'm fine. What are you hearing? I also love the Chima. What is she? Like, the
maid, the head maid, the caretaker, housekeeper.
Of Mansion 2. Of Mansion 2. She's like forcing Tamaki to look within and contemplate who he wants to become and what he wants to do rather than just obeying orders. I love that she's just like, think on this.
Right, yeah, I think even when she said that, I was waiting for Tamaki to be like, I don't want to inherit.
Mm-hmm.
Especially once he found out his mom was healthy. It's like, oh, she's healthy? Yeah. Listen, and the grandma, it's been how many years and she still doesn't accept me? Good luck with your company. Because, like, I was waiting for it. It didn't happen, of course. But I was thinking when Shima said that, I was like, oh, you know, factor in Haruhi being in the picture and then Tamaki having feelings for her. This is going to play out just like how it played out with Tamaki's dad and mom. Mm-hmm. Because I was like, oh, the grandma's never going to accept Haruhi. At least Tamaki's mom's, like, family had a business. This is, like, totally different. And so I was thinking, oh, this is going to divert into Tamaki being like, I don't need money. Or I don't need the family name. Like, I can be happy, like, with my mom and with my future girlfriend and everything and not be controlled by somebody that doesn't like me. But yeah.
But yeah, it played out much differently. I have a lot of reactionary stuff. I don't want to bog everybody down with that. Can I just say, just in general, all of the story beats hit so hard, and it felt like perfect storytelling. Yeah. I know I'm like, I have some nostalgia glasses because of how much I adore the anime, but like, it felt like perfect storytelling. I was so enraptured and entranced by everything. I cared so deeply about almost every situation, and all of the characters for sure so deeply. So that anytime there was an argument or a misunderstanding or just like any kind of tension, I was so deeply invested. Mm-hmm. So just that's sort of like a broad thing so that I'm not getting into all of my reactionary stuff. Can we touch on Kanoya just for a second?
Yeah.
I just think as a concept, again, going into the storytelling, I just think that is a fantastic episode concept. It is the theater of Tamaki's mind version of Haruhi in real life, and it further solidifies his feelings for Haruhi when he meets the quote-unquote ideal version of her. And it also got Haruhi thinking about Tamaki, where his heart is at, and their compatibility.
I was waiting for Kanoya to be like, oh, I was a plant by your grandma. Like,
Right. I almost thought it was going to be like the Eclair Tonnerre situation from the anime. I was like waiting for the thing to happen, the shoe to drop.
Yeah, because I was just like, oh, because especially with Kazoka just being around so much, I was just like, oh, Kazoka noted what he liked, knows all this stuff about Haruhi, and, you know, if she got with Tamaki, they're the same status, and then that means that her family wouldn't have to break up. I was waiting for it. Didn't happen. I think the story still ended up fine, and I liked Kanoya's overall impact, but I was just like, oh, is this gonna happen? Is it not?
Yeah. To save us a lot of time, All of the build-up and cute, embarrassed moments between Haruhi and Tamaki as their feelings are growing for each other are perfect and wonderful and such a joy to read.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, instead of going into specifics, like truly just, mwah, chef's kiss, fucking great.
Yeah.
So loved it all.
I love that Haruhi eventually, this is just towards the end, when they break into the main house, when Tamaki's main house or main mansion, and then she starts pulling his face, and it's just like, why are you, your dad, and your grandmother all so stubborn? Oh, y'all are stupid. Why don't you just talk to each other?
It's just like, why don't you just talk to each other? That's like us when we're reviewing stuff sometimes. It's like, have a conversation. I love it. She, again, grounds us in reality. She's our anchor in this crazy world.
Yeah. I did like, we'll get into it later, I actually did like the plan. Maybe that will be an unpopular opinion.
No, I agree.
For other people. The chairman's plan? No, I
was so
liked
afraid
it.
you were going to be like, thank God. No, I'm right with you. We can talk about that now if you want. I only had a couple random little floats your boats left. Other than...
Yeah, because it was just like me, I just have the airport, the club being back.
Yes.
Fountain.
Yes.
First date. Yeah. Those were like my last things.
Pretty much same. I had a couple random side notes from Bisco Hattori as well. Her blog is still up. I checked the blog link that she put in the side. It hasn't been updated since 2016, but I can put it in the show notes if you want to like go read it.
Yeah.
Mori and Honey's duel was fun. I thought it was very funny that it ended by him just like plopping him outside the ring. Very good.
To get rid of Bun Bun.
Yeah. I also think it's kind of cute that Bisco was drawing Millennium Snow characters in some of the free pages, and she was like apologizing like she wasn't allowed to do that, and it's her manga. She can do whatever she wants. So I thought that it kind of makes me want to read Millennium Snow. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. It's like 2 volumes, I think.
Oh my God, I need to pick it up. That's going to happen. It's going to happen. Yeah, we can get into the next thing I have is the chairman's plan. I put banana split, to be honest, because it's messy, but it still kind of floats your boat, is what I wrote.
No, I was like, oh, this is floats your boat because fuck the grandma. Like,
oh my God, I literally wrote in all caps, like when the reveal happened, the chairman was trying to secretly overthrow his mother. We stand, we love, we support. Like, I'm there for it, honestly.
Yeah, because everything that she did, how she separated y'all, how she was manipulating everybody's towards the end, everybody's life. Oh, fuck her for real. Like,
I put like, dang, that bitch got served. Even the shareholder said bye, Felicia.
Yes. Goodbye, because I did not like the random redemption at the end. I was just like, this is not for me. Like, I know that they had Tamaki being upset, like, because he idealized having his whole family at a kotatsu together. Yeah. But I just, like, I feel that that's also a product of his upbringing, is, like, this lack of self-love. Because let me tell you something. You could be my blood family. You give me that much trouble for years, after a certain point, I'm finna cut you off. I don't really care. DNA, whatever, I'm gonna cut you off, because why would you make somebody's life a living hell and then you still want them to be what type of acceptance are you really gonna get? You know, like...
Right. Yeah, I mean, I was trying to see this from all perspectives, but I don't think there was any way that Tamaki's dream of uniting his family was going to happen without these kind of drastic measures. Like, she dictated everyone's every move. Yeah. Like,
to Haruhi, being like, oh, get out of the country. Right. Kozaka, if you don't do it, you're gonna lose your legal license.
Yep, I had that shit down in Hot Fudge Ice Cream You Scream for sure. Like, and determines, like, I did it for Tamaki's sake. And even Kyoya kind of trips up in his response when he says, no, you didn't, sir. You did it for your own sake. You lived under the oppression of the director longer than anyone else. I put in bold caps, oppression. This is why I don't think what he did was wrong. And then I was trying to look into his perspective. He was in a loveless marriage. He turned a blind eye to his wife taking lovers that was left out of the anime. It made him look like such a bad guy. Yeah. And I guess his wife taking lovers was okay by the grandmother. But when he fell in real love, it was a problem. I mean, like, I guess a child complicates things. But he did go through the divorce, to try and teach.
Right.
He tried to make it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did try to make it right.
It's like, okay, Tamaki is illegitimate, but it's not that bad. Like, it's not like, oh, he was married and then had, like, the baby came. Like, no, he was already divorced at that point. Yeah. So, to me, because, I mean, the way that it was, I was getting mad enough that after a certain volume, I was just like, why don't you kill her? Like, that's really bad.
No, I almost wrote she's gonna be dead soon.
Like, y'all are in this grand mansion. There are stairs everywhere. It's not that difficult. Like,
does the staff that prepares her food also hate her? Cause
cyanide. Like, oh, y'all. I mean,
I'm not so violent. Why is it always the old ladies?
I'm not advocating. Please don't kill elderly people. You can just go no contact with them. Like, but like in this situation, I was mad enough that I was just like, kill her. She has you fucked up. Like what are you waiting for? Like,
yeah.
As much time, like, cause he was all oppressed. I mean, I guess it's familial love that you ain't finna do it, but he could have been like got her kicked out and everything, because I'll be damned, you have my kid living in a separate house from me, you bring him over, you're isolating him to the point where he can't have his friends, he can't have his dog, he can't have the staff that has been with him since he was a child, he can't have his club and everything, and then now, like, what?
Right. Someone says to Tamaki, I forget who it was, I don't know if it was someone on the staff, they're like, your father conspired to leave your grandmother alone with no support while he publicly fired her. I was like, okay, and? She did that to Tamaki. That's exactly what she fucking did to Tamaki.
And, like, okay, so now your dad's standing up for you and you're mad?
Yeah. Yeah.
To be honest, the Kotatsu thing, I know that they made it happen. But if they were staying true to the grandmother's character, she would have just ended up dying. Not that somebody would kill her, but she would die. And then it would be like, oh, now you have the thing. And she's not there. But, random thoughts of how maybe she could have come around or something. I would have been okay with that. Her still being around and just being like, oh, you played the piano for me. And then just be like, oh, the chairman made him like the same things that I guess, or had him watch the same media. I
was kind of for it because I'm such a tie everything in a sweet little bow kind of person. I was glad that on the flip side of it, despite it all, they were able to have that open dialogue that they should have had all along, and that they were able to bond as a family, and also that she was able to become an advisor to the Suo group, so that she was still getting to live out that promise she made to her late husband. Advising is still helping to steer the company. So I was glad that it was able to work out positively, despite it being such a nightmare up until that point.
Yeah. Even though I would have preferred that she died, it's like, okay, I guess we'll go with the redemption so that Tamaki can have what he wants.
Yeah.
We could go with it. I mean, even if she did the whole thing, I know that's fucked up, but I was still mad. I was still waiting for her to just be like, and then 2 years later, she was gone. I was like, okay. But either way, yeah. Okay.
The next thing I have is just, I didn't write in detail everybody at Ouran helping Tamaki see his mother off at the airport because he was so loved by everybody. That was beautiful.
That was. I was just, everybody came together. They were just like, taking a boat, take this helicopter, like moving in cars, like everything that they could do.
Everything.
That they did. And he saw her for 5 minutes and I was just like...
I know. I do wish that they got longer. It was better than nothing. It was like the start to hopefully seeing her more. It was like the beginning of something. It was again such beautiful writing. I just the stakes felt so high. So like volume 16 and 17, I was so stressed. I was so stressed reading them. Oh my god, I felt it in my bones. But yeah, such incredible writing.
Yeah.
The next thing I have is the confession scene.
At the airport.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Because there was multiple confessions.
Well, that's true. That's very. Thank you. Yeah, the confession scene at the airport. Tamaki's initial reaction is, of course, hilarious. He's like, "I didn't hear you," but he's like, "Did you just say you loved me?" And she's like, "If you heard me, why ask?" He's like, "I literally don't have it in me to say it again." His emotions are going haywire.
Yeah.
He's like calling out for Hikadu, and she's like, "Don't call out someone's name to her. I just made a love confession. I already want to die."
Yeah.
It's so relatable, like the way she talks sometimes. Like that absolutely killed me.
Yeah.
Her like backtracking almost made me throw the manga across the room though, and she like tried to like be like, "No, I didn't say," and she's like, "I can't decide if I love you or not." But like, the bold kiss, Tamaki. Oh my god, did that clear things up, because that did not feel wrong.
I started calling them Tamaki in my notes.
Tamaki. I love it, Tamaki.
yeah. I was like, Tamaki, finally. Yes.
Haruhi, Tamahi. I love it. You guys, wait, come up with your favorite like Tamaki Haruhi couple name in the comments on socials when we share this, please.
Or that might be the question too. We could be the question.
I can make it the question on Spotify.
Yeah. Oh, the host club comes back.
Yes. Oh my god. Yeah. I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. I was just like, I need the host club to be reinstated.
Right? Because when the chairman was just like, disband the host club, I was just like, I'm finna pull out. No, guys, this is not a gun. But I was like,
I'm gonna disband your life.
I was like, you can okay, because before I was with you with the plan, I was with you. Now you're pissing me off. Like,
exactly. Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, that was one step too far.
I love you in the fountain. It's just
the
like
fountain moment was so
full circle. Cute. Yeah.
Oh my god. And she's like, "What is it you said when we were, splashing around shallow water before? You have to go deep." And she thinks to herself, "I'm in deep." Romance? This is romance.
Finally.
The romance girl is feeling all the romance.
That we didn't get. We didn't get a kiss. We just got a hug in the anime. Yeah. Oh, and then you get to see Tamaki, like, get sort of confident, too. Because he realized that when he's in proximity to her, that she's all blushy. And so, like, he's, like, starts taking it in. Very Sasaki of him. I know Sasaki came later. But I was just like, yeah.
Yes, definitely. I kind of made the same connection, which is funny.
Twins.
Yes. The next thing I have is, before Haruhi goes abroad, she wants to make everybody aware of her true gender. She's like, "I don't want to leave and have people believing a lie about me." And I thought, the masquerade is like it was like so beautiful. It was like so very host club, very funny. Like, it all just played out so well. And then when the girls were like, "Hey, we already know your secret. We've just like been supporting you." Like, I actually teared up. I was like, "Why am I crying?" But I know it's like, I'm kind of skipping ahead. At the end, they were like, "Wait, it wasn't cosplay." Like, she's actually a girl. That was a hilarious twist. I thought that was very funny. I do kind of like, I might have preferred it to be the sentimental thing that made me cry. Yeah. But I did think it was like kind of funny that it was like, wait, no, we actually thought it was cosplay. It was funny,
Yeah. My last floats your boat. I think I already mentioned it, but it was the first date. Yeah. Shenanigans.
Definitely.
He comes in like a wedding kimono. I'm pretty sure that's a wedding kimono. And I was just like, bruh. And what was really cute was that all the host club was just spying on them and were just like, "Nah, okay, take him
damage
to the
control. Damage control.
Change." And so they were like actively doing damage control. We get to see the Zuka Club again. What? Like,
yeah, that was so funny to see them. I think my most like my favorite thing of like Tamaki's antics was when they had to like, it's your first date, Arch, and like the staff is there congratulating them on their first date, and he wanted them to throw rice, because this is a wedding tradition, people throw rice at newlyweds to wish them a prosperous life together. And I was dying laughing so hard. And he's like, wait, well, Haruhi would be upset if we wasted rice. So they just like set rice aside for her to take.
Yeah.
It's just fucking brilliant. It's so funny. I love it so much.
It reminded me of when he first realized that he actually loved Haruhi, because then he was just like, I love her. We should be buried together. And it's like, what? Like, oh, Giana almost did a spit take. I almost did a spit take.
If you're listening to the audio version, yeah. He's like, we should be buried together. Tamaki,
like,
slow down. Stay grounded.
Yeah. But speaking of being buried together, I almost teared up at them going to her mom's grave and him talking to her mom about
that was beautiful,
his intentions and how she is, and it was really nice.
That was very nice. Yes. I guess my last floats your boat is that everybody goes abroad too.
Yes.
I love that. Because I was sad. I'm like, shit. I'm like, this is people growing up and like going separate ways. And it turned out everybody went to America. And it made me really happy.
Yeah. Although I was just kind of like, America?
I know. I have beef in particular with Boston, but one day.
Right?
One day you all will hear that album. It'll happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Because I was just like, how do people die here? Are you sure?
Oh.
Like, every day. Like, people get stabbed. People get shot.
It's rough.
Robbed. I don't know what it's Boston of all places. I don't know what Boston's going to do for you. But either way,
yeah, I won't get into my specific beef with Boston. Let us move on. I just have 2 banana splits I would like to just notate really quick. It's nothing we have to like talk about. It's actually stuff that happened super early in the series in volumes 1 and 2. In volume 1, instead of addressing everybody as the homosexual supporting cast, Tamaki calls them sexless. So I guess it's the asexual supporting cast, which makes more sense when from my own interpretation anyway. I interpreted it as Tamaki saying, well, you can't have feelings for Haruhi because you guys like men. So like she has to be all mine because you couldn't like her. So like saying asexual is kind of like saying like, well, you have no feelings for anybody. So only I could love her. So I felt validated in that a bit. In volume 2, during the twins fight episode, they dye their hair pink and purple. In the anime, it's pink and blue. And I don't know why they decided to change it to something different. That is interesting. And in the same episode, instead of writing blank on the back of Bells and F, Karu writes loser instead, which is even harsher. It's an even harsher way to reveal to Haruhi and the club that the fight was fake. It's like quite literally adding insult to injury. Like, we fooled you all. We were bored. Y'all are losers. That was very interesting. So that's just my banana split thought. I don't know how much we have to. I did have an obligatory rocky road of Tamaki's mother situation, but I mean, I don't know if we really have to go into that. It is very sad. I feel like we've touched on it. We don't have a lot of time, so I think we can gloss over that. I did just want to notate one time that I had to take a moment because I was actually crying after episode 76, which I think was volume 17. Well, it was when they just kind of had to accept that Tamaki would reunite the host club someday. It was that page where it said, all of us will go on secretly holding the same feelings in our hearts. And so the Ouran host club was no more. They don't know how long it will take, but they trust in Tamaki to never give up on them and do everything within his power to reunite the host club back together. They are just as much his family as his grandmother is, but first he needs to get her to understand. He doesn't know how long it will take, but he's determined to make it happen. And I'm just crying, crying into my book. I had to notate that because it really felt very powerful. They hold such a love for each other, and it just makes me sad to think of people going their separate ways who do not want to. And, you don't know where they're all going to end up, if they're all going to get back together, blah, blah, blah. It hit me. Yeah. Moving into our negatives. Yeah.
Hot fudge, ice cream, you scream.
Hot fudge, ice cream, you scream. Oh boy, I have a lot of specifics. You know what I might do, y'all? I might do a separate YouTube video or something on like all the crazy ass reactionary specific things I have about the manga, because we don't have a lot of time to get into this tonight, but I have a lot of thoughts. Kyoya's family, can I touch on that?
Yeah, like Akito is such an Akito. It's such an yeah.
Yeah. Quiet. I just think I talked about, I don't know if I said it earlier, but their family is just so cold. There's no love there. There's no, like, it just doesn't feel like a family. It feels like coworkers living together who happen to share a name and blood.
Yeah.
They're so rude to Fuyumi. It makes me so sad. It's like the dad doesn't want her to visit because she should be off making a home, even if her husband's not home. It's just like, what are you doing here? Don't you have a husband, a house to tend to?
Just because you get married doesn't mean you're not family anymore. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Do you have anything about Kosaka?
Oh, I was glad that Ranka threw tea in her face, because after a certain point it was just like, okay, you're a grown titty woman. Why exactly are you in the middle of high school business? You need to mind your own business. And then on top of it, having that weird layer of Kozaka saying that she used to have a crush on Ranka, like, I was just like, okay, so you are doing these things to Ranka's daughter, and then now turn around and just be like, oh, well, this is my sob story on how I liked your dad, but then your dad got with your mom and whatever else, and I decided to go to the same school. Like, that's not creepy to you?
Yeah, I literally wrote, I don't care about her. And she's so cruel when she speaks about Haruhi's father, because they were her first love. I wrote audible sigh. Like, I literally sighed. But yeah, she has no place to be telling Haruhi her backstory. I have absolutely no sympathy for her. It's really fucking weird for her to be telling the kid of someone she had a crush on how many years ago all her troubles of her past.
Yeah.
It's a nuisance to the story.
Yeah, because nobody asked. So it's just like,
nobody fucking asked. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't like them helping the people that kidnapped Haruhi, like their business. Go to jail. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Go to jail. I like, fuck your dry clean. Nah. Minor? Like, no.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We already talked about Tamaki's grandmother. I don't know if we need to.
I mean, other than the fact that I wanted her to die, I really don't have anything else to say.
Yeah. I think I actually said all of my points about her already. So just basically fuck her.
Yeah. I did sort of get where Kyoya, it was ice cream, you scream for me. I did understand Kyoya saying that the chairman used Tamaki as a pawn.
Yes.
And stuff. And I feel like, if anything, I wish that the chairman had let Tamaki in on the plan somewhat, so that he wouldn't have to take his grandmother rejecting him so hard for so long. Like, he would understand, like, oh, well, eventually all of my family will be together and stuff. And he would have that to look forward to, rather than just being like, I have to get used to my circumstances.
Right. Even if his dad, like, because I think if Tamaki knew the specifics, he probably would have spoiled something. Even if his dad just said, I'm working on it, it might take some time, just trust me, it's all going to work out. Yeah. If he could just have that to hold on to, that would be good. I actually only have one more thing. I was fleshing it out at the beginning, and then I just made some more, like, random quotes to add. It's about the homophobia, the biphobia, the transphobia that's kind of speckled throughout the series. I wrote this a while ago, so I'm just going to read it. Bear with me if it sounds like I'm reading something, but well, it was subtle at first. I think it became less subtle as time went on. So I'll just say the biphobia in this manga is very disappointing. Yeah. I mean, it's of the times, I guess. So, like, I'll take it with a grain of salt. It's clear that Tamaki's just an idiot when it comes to, like, the lesbianism, and Shiro Takaoji is just an immature, rude child who always says the worst thing, so he's probably never been exposed to queerness before, so it made sense for him to be rude or shocked when he was seeing people doing gay things around him for the first time, like the twins and Haruhi cross-dressing. Yeah. But the biphobia around Haruhi's father is upsetting. Yeah. His boss is making jabs at him like, are you sure it isn't because, about Haruhi not taking him to bring your father to school day? Are you sure it's not because she has a gay dad she should be embarrassed about. It's the use of the word should for me.
Yeah.
Like being gay is something to be embarrassed about. He proudly retorts, for your information, I'm bi, but I've decided I won't love any woman other than Kotoko. And I've gotten some very good job offers from male bars. You got a problem with that? And the boss's response is, it's not something to brag about, and then adds, especially the bars. So I'm interpreting that personally as your sexuality is not something to brag about, and neither is the fact that men find you attractive. And we're coming off of Pride Month here, where we, including us, we queer folk loudly and proudly take up space, and it just hurts to hear something like that. Ouran is usually so self-aware, and things are almost always said as a joke, or there's an immediate punishment for saying something dumb, like when Tamaki was like, what's there to gain from a relationship between two women? You know, this just hangs in the air, and for me, as a bisexual woman, it feels heavy. It feels heavy, and I don't like it. And there's just a couple more moments I notated. There's like rude kids, and like a flashback with Haruhi. They're like, there's Haruhi, why are you alone? Your gay dad isn't with you? Because you don't have your mom, your dad's taking her place, right? And then later, even Ranka, Ryoji, says to Tamaki regarding the kiss scene in the play at Lobelia, why are you so worked up about two girls kissing as if there's no value in that? And then Kosaka, I was at work, I had to like not, and there were people, I had to not like make a face when I was reading this in the back. Kosaka says about Haruhi, it does appear that Fujioka must have some psychological problem, hiding her gender and dressing as a boy. And also, we learned that Ryoshi's parents disowned them after they started working in drag. So, I didn't write a conclusion to all this, but it upset me. I will say that is like, if there's a genuine dislike about Ouran, that's it. That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
That's all I have for Ice Cream, Hot Fudge.
Okay. I guess we can go to our sentiments for podcasting for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you like to kick it off?
Sure. I wrote stuff. I don't know if I'll go verbatim, but if I'm reading y'all, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I guess also trigger warning for suicidal ideation. To be frank, I wasn't sure if I was actually going to be alive for this anniversary. I know that's very dark, but it's the truth. It's the truth. I feel like last year was one, if not my most traumatic year ever. And while I'll say that it's mildly gotten better, it still feels as if I have been dealing with more losses than wins. When we say that we put everything into this podcast, please believe that we do. Even in my like darkest moments, to times where I wasn't even sure if I was even gonna talk to Giana. I was still trying to write notes and to do what I can and push our podcast and get the GIFs and artists and all this other stuff. I was doing whatever I could to try to get my mind away from where it has been. And so we put so much heart and effort into this podcast. So guys, you came to basically to the end of this episode. So honestly, please share our work. Share it on social media. Join our Discord community and engage with us about our episodes in our podcast discussion channel. If you're able to, join our Patreon so we can go back to being weekly. I know we're weekly this month and we usually are for our anniversary, but it would be great to be weekly all of the time. And just a couple more patrons would make that possible for us to get the editing help and stuff. I think we would truly love to just see more support for what we do, because it makes dealing with the shitty aspects of life, the constant blows, I don't know if I'm gonna see, it makes it that much easier just to know we're fully supported by people and you love what we're doing and you're rooting for us and you're telling us, not just some random one-off, you're engaging with us. So, like, yeah, I guess in a nutshell, thank you guys so much for the ones that have been here. We love you guys. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. Please continue to support us. Please continue to engage with us, because it makes things easier. And I don't know how else I could say that for you.
Yeah. Sorry, I live near more traffic, so if there's stuff you're hearing in the background, I apologize. It's definitely been a hard year. Chika and I have been going through it in a multitude of different ways. I'm sure you've seen my apartment journey on Twitter, and that is still definitely ongoing. I'm in a new space, but I might not be for a long time, or, might not be here for long. That's a whole other issue. We'll get into it on social media, perhaps. But the Shoujo Sundae has definitely been like a refuge and a focus and a grounding point for me as well. And I'm just so grateful. This year I got to discover Sasaki and Miyano, which has like changed my brain chemistry. Not that coming off of Oku, I guess specifically, kind of reminded me how much I love podcasting and stuff like that. I wish I had written something down so I could say something more eloquently. The one thing I wanted to touch on a little bit is that podcasting has been a part of my confidence journey, which is we don't have time to get into the whole thing very much, but my confidence is something that fluctuates. I was an overly confident kid, and I lost that along the way, and I don't know if it was due to external sources or internal sources or a mix of both, which is probably, the mix of both. And part of the reason why I started the podcast, which I don't know, I don't think I've ever told you this, Chika, is I find myself very socially anxious. I find myself very introverted. And I, can go into my shell and stay in my shell and not want to talk to anybody. And I wanted to force myself to talk to people and maybe relearn how to talk to people and hopefully make a friend. And I feel very much that I did make a friend with you. You've been there for me this year so much, and we've grown so close. And for me, this feels like our 3-year anniversary, because
technically it is.
Yeah, we've been friends for 3 years next month, so it feels like our 3-year anniversary as we're recording this. But I'm just equally grateful for you and all of our podcasting, community here, everybody in our Discord server. I love talking to you guys on the daily. It really brightens my day, especially that pod discussion channel, to hear you guys engaging with us, and it makes me feel like I'm connecting with people. Because like I said, I get anxious, so it's easier for me to do that online, and I really just appreciate having the space to share in this wonderful thing with you all. But I'm just really happy to be doing this. This really kept me centered this year, and I can't wait to see where the next year takes us. We're probably gonna be a little more relaxed and chill, which I'm kind of looking forward to. Us just kind of chilling out a little. We went gung ho this year. We're not not gonna go gung ho. We're just gonna go gung ho in
a different way.
In a different way.
Yeah.
I'm just really grateful to have the space and that we're doing this, and it's just wonderful.
And I think that when it comes to us, you guys, I know that it's been hard on the both of us, and we've talked about it on social media. And I know, at least in my experience, I have experienced people being fatigued by my obstacles, which is girl, I'm telling you, I would probably wish it on my enemy, because, I need to be a better hater like Kendrick. But still, despite the fact that both Giana and I have been going through a lot of things, we've still been able to accomplish, so much stuff. Mm-hmm. So much.
I'm so proud of us. Oh my God.
I mean, simply putting the episodes out is just pat on the back, but it's we interviewed Ryan Colt-Levy. We talked to Pearl Lowe about Wheels and Roses. Paida. I mean, of course, Paida is more of a staple, but still, because Paida is so big now. Paida, we have our plans and stuff coming up and everything. You'll see. Mm-hmm. Soon.
We got some stuff cooking.
Yeah. So we've been able to accomplish so many things. So guys, don't take us having a bad time or us being down about life and what's been dealt to us, I guess, as, oh, like the podcast is going down or whatever. Like, that's not the case. Like, actually, on our worst day, we're still doing very, very well, like podcast wise.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So don't count us out.
Mm-hmm. I think that brings us to the end of our 2-year anniversary episode. Oh my gosh. Thank you all so much, not just for listening to this episode, but for being part of this journey with us. Whether you've been here since Maid-sama, or you started maybe when we covered Ouran, or you're brand new. Thank you so much for being a shoujo fan. Thank you so much for entering our ice cream parlor and digging in with us. And hopefully you stick around with us for a little while longer.
Yeah.
So before we head on into our outro spiel, we just want to give a massive thank you to all of our wonderful patrons. If you want to see what we're doing on Patreon, we got Licorice Live Action, where we're reviewing live action stuff. And then we have our Shonen Sunday.
Yeah, we're doing Freerin.
We're covering Freerin, so head on over, join the whipped cream or the hot fudge tier respectively for those. But huge shout out to our patrons who gave us the ability to go weekly this month, starting with our Sprinkles patrons. Thank you so much to Pete, PJ, Akemi, and Miles. Thank you so much to our wonderful whipped cream patron, Mark M. And thank you so very, very much to our hot fudge patrons. We've got Aaron, AJ, Mackenzie, Mark D, and Mary. Thank you all so much for being our patrons. We love you so much.
Thank you. And y'all, don't forget the giveaway. You can be like Giana and Chika and have an Ouran box set.
Yes, you can look at it. It's so pretty.
It's so nice. Okay, 5-star review on Apple Podcasts for Shoujo Sundae. Do not mention that we're having a giveaway in your written review. And we'll let you know August 1st who won.
Yes. All right, y'all. Well, if you would like to keep up with us during the week, you can follow us at Shoujo Sundae across all socials, and that includes Blue Sky and Threads. If you would like to keep up with us individually, my name is Gianna Luna. You can stream my song Twilight Champagne on any music platform, or you can follow me at Gianna_Luna_ across socials. That is Gianna with one N. On Blue Sky, there is no underscores. How about you, Chika?
Yeah, you guys can find me on our Discord, which is in our link tree. You can also find me on Instagram and Blue Sky at Chika Supreme, and that's Chika with a K and not 2 C's.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next time. But for now, the doors to Music Room 3 are closing. We will see you then.
See you.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.